is Silver Monday at Jay's Breakfast Club.
Yay!
And what an awesome Monday it is. There are just so many things that we have to be thankful for. And I don't mind using the word thankful because I am thankful for what has happened here in the city of Gary. I sat on the board when we worked our off to get a referendum passed, and apparently we did not work hard enough because, let it be known, in 2020, the referendum passed. Yay! So we are looking forward to some wonderful things continuing to happen. So at this time, we are going to bring our manager, see, I said it correctly today, for the City of Gary Community School Corporation, who will give us an update. She will answer any questions that you may have. If you have questions from our audience through Facebook or whatever, please get those questions in, because knowledge is powerful. And most folks sitting in this room know that I have always dealt with, in all of your get understanding. Dr. Page, the show is yours.
All right, thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. And again, I want to say this is a huge moment for the Gary Community Schools and the City of Gary. I think this is truly transformational. And I want to thank everybody. I can't thank everyone enough for all their support and help in getting this referendum passed, from the faith-based leaders to our local legislators, senators, representatives, to this group here who helped me get the message out, to our parents, to everybody on the PAC committee. We've just had an outpouring of support that helped get this done. So I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart, because it's truly going to help move our school district on to the next level. So thank you again. There's lots of things that we want to share. Hopefully you had a chance to see last week, or I think it was last week, time's kind of rolling together, the track that we're redoing at Westside.
Yes!
Yeah. Very exciting. Yeah, really exciting. So we've taken the track all the way down, grounded all the way down to the starting point, and putting a whole new basin. And then in the spring, the asphalt will go on this week, but then in the spring, the top coat will go on, and the striping and all the things that go with it. So we'll have a beautiful new track to call our home field, if you will, starting in the spring. So we're excited about that, and many more new things to come. We are going to be looking at our list again using the 1065 money. It's currently posted on our website of all the projects that we want to do over the next 5 years. But that's going to be a fluid document so that we can continuously look at that and see which things we want to move forward or push back depending on the needs of the district. So please continue to watch our website so you can see all the new enhancements that's going to be happening. If you happen to have a chance to drive by Westside sometime in the near future, you'll see that there's a beautiful new banner out front of Westside. So drive by and take a look at it, because we're putting, I mean, when I say giant, it covers the whole side of the building. And we're hoping to do that at many of the buildings to help promote our school and re-beautify them and make our schools competitive again with our neighboring districts. So please take a drive by. I also want to talk about, I've had a lot of questions, as I committed and promised. We are going to have a referendum oversight committee. I want to call it the Referendum Committee going forward. This is a committee that I'm asking for people to look for in the future on our website and make application for. We're in the process of right now defining what the application is going to look like and the criteria for that, and making sure, I don't want this to turn into a political thing. I'm going to say that out loud. I've said it many times. I want it to be a cross mix of people who are invested in our schools, invested for the right reasons, and who want to see us move forward in a positive direction. So we're going to have the application posted on our website in the near future, and then we're going to choose again a cross mix of people from across the community that will sit on that committee with myself, that I'll be able to share what's happening with the referendum dollars and make some good decisions moving forward over the next several years. So if you're interested in that, please continue to look on our website so that you can see where we're headed. Now I want to remind everybody that, again, the referendum passed, but the referendum dollars don't start coming in until the end of June. So we won't start seeing those dollars until this summer, and then we can start moving forward with a lot of those initiatives next school year, which is a huge thing. That's separate than the $1065 that I've been talking about, and I want to remind everybody those are two separate pots of money. The referendum dollars was an operational referendum, and again, that was going towards teacher salaries, that was going towards fine arts programs, going towards STEM academies, going towards spelling bee, science olympiad, those types of things. The $1065, which is the money that Senator Melton helped author, is again House Bill 1065, which is for capital projects, and that's the money that we're using for the track, the fixing of the pool eventually, the roof, HVAC systems, boilers, painting, that type of stuff. So we've got two separate pots of money that we're using towards the enhancements of the schools. And again, those monies are also listed on our website so that you can see where those dollars are going and how those are being initiated moving forward. We also want to make sure that you notice, if you're out driving around, that we have a new playground at Beveridge. Yay! So we certainly want to make West Side the hallmark of our school district, but we know that those babies need some enhancements at their schools as well. So please drive by and see the beautiful new playground at Beveridge. It's great. It's got all the safety procedures that kids need, and lots of new equipment for them when we come back to school. I also want to mention that, as you know, we handed out 4,500 Chromebooks to our students, except for Bethune, which is our preschool program, because Chromebooks don't really lend themselves well to little babies who are little, because they're not able to manipulate a Chromebook. So we did finally get in our, they're more like leapfrog devices for the babies. They got in about a week ago, so those are all being deployed to our little kids as well, so they can have the educational apps, so they can use those at home as well. So we've got about 250 of those in, and those are going out to our kids so they can use those at home. So I think that's also a wonderful addition to our curriculum and for our kids. As far as reentry, I've been asked many times, and guys, I got to keep telling everybody that we want kids back in school desperately. We know that's the best place for them to be, is in front of their teachers, but we got to do it when it's safe. And as you can see, the numbers are soaring, especially here in Lake County. It is just not safe, in my opinion, and Dr. Walker's opinion, in Lake County. I would talk with the Lake County Health Department. I just don't think it's safe yet at this point. Our kids may be asymptomatic, as you know, and coming to school. We got to worry about our teachers, the bus drivers, the food attendants, and then again, those families that they're going home to. So at this point, I think we're still at about 17% positivity rate. I am not looking to reopen anytime right now. So I'll keep you posted as that continues to follow along. I'll continue to keep talking to Dr. Walker and the health department, and certainly keep you apprised as to things moving forward, but not in the near couple of weeks anyhow. We're just going to stay home and stay put and keep everybody safe. I'm going to take questions before I move on to the rest of my list. Does anybody have any questions?
Well, I have one.
Yes.
But you answered it already about the coronavirus.
Yes.
Because Gary, I was looking at their numbers last week. Gary had 193 cases in 1 week. So you're right, it's soaring. And I was wondering, had you had time to think about re-entry during all of this, during the referendum?
Yes.
But it's, in a way, it's already taken care of, because you're following the lead of Dr. Walker and the county health department.
Right. Yes. And so I meet with the Lake County superintendents on a regular basis. There's about 26 of us, and we meet via Zoom. We have a large Zoom meeting, and we have these very discussions every week. And so certainly every district has their own unique needs and culture and are making their own decisions. But at this point, we here, my team here at the Gary Community Schools, feel like it's not safe to open, and we're not going to do so yet. So yes, we've been following that.
Another question?
Sure.
Does anyone ask a question?
It's okay, go on, nobody had.
So, with West Side, your movement to start the rehab of that track, you said it was being held up into phase 2. But you pushed it forward now. So what is phase 2 of 1065?
Well, it's on our website because we've got about 50 projects, so I can't tell you.
Do you?
Yeah, we've got about 50 projects listed, but I can tell you some of the phase 2 would be some more enhancements to our sporting programs. So again, we have the pool listed. We have we need to do the press box at Westside for any of you who have been there in the near future. We've got the press box that we can't use right now at Westside because it's not stable, so we can't have people up there. We need a new sound system at Westside. So when people come, spectators come, we have a portable sound system that we're using. That's no good. We need to have a good sound system so that when athletes are participating, we can hear them. We need to have some of the other sports facilities fixed at our middle school so that we have some feeder programs so that when they get to Westside, we've got some kids who've already gone through their athletic programs. And we need to have some of the HVAC boilers. Those are all in phase 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so phase 1 was?
Basic, like getting plumbing done, getting painting done. We needed some repairs done to the roof so we wouldn't have, leaks happening at the buildings, those air conditioning, that type of stuff.
And you said that is on the website?
Yes.
Those, that detail is on the
Every
website?
phase is on the website.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some parents by the way, your tech team is doing a great
Oh,
job.
thanks.
When parents do go, but some parents have a problem with transportation when their kids' Chromebooks act up and they can't get them back on, and they worry about being sent that letter that says they're going to be sent to court because their children are not attending school. So is there anything in place to help those parents who have a problem with transportation?
Yeah, great question. A couple things we can do to help with parents who are having tech problems. We have sent out our face liaisons to do home visits. They just need to reach out to us at school and say we need help. Our face liaisons have gone to people's homes and helped them get re-logged on. Our tech team has done the same.
881-5466.
Can you say it one more time?
881-5466.
They can also call in and we can do a live call with them where we can actually take control of their Chromebook on our side and see what the problem is and fix it on our end. There's a way that we can log into their Chromebook from our end. We have hotspots and tracking devices on every Chromebook, so we can see right where that Chromebook is, log into it and see what's happening in real time. But they can also come to the feeding service sites where the buses are going out in the community. We've got about 26 buses that go out twice a week, and we can have tech people planted there and they can get some help right up at the feeding site. Okay? Yes?
Another question. Gary in the past has had a problem with Title I monies. Do you have someone in Title I who knows what they're doing?
Yes, I do. So I originally came to Gary to be over all the Title I funding, so that was my job. So I'm very well versed in Title I funding. And then since now I've moved into this position, Kim Bradley, who's our Chief Academic Officer, is also Title I. So she and I work very closely with the State Department. They actually were here last week visiting us. They drove here from Indianapolis and met with us to review all of our Title I funding. We have some carryover money from the past years that weren't spent all the way. So we still have monies that we're using for these initiatives that we've been talking about and continue to push out, like after school tutoring. Right now we're doing with students who are finished their school day and still need some interventions. We're using our Title I funding and trying to get some more resources for kids who need it. But yes, we have people who are working diligently on the Title I spending.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more question.
Yeah.
I know the Chromebooks are for kids to do their schoolwork. Do our kids still use tablets? Because not from the school system, but I mean just from an educational point of view, do kids still use tablets?
We don't have any students using tablets that I'm aware of.
Right. No, I don't mean
Yeah.
from that. I mean,
You mean, is it a thing?
yeah, is it a thing?
iPads are a thing.
Yeah.
You know, those who can afford those and have those, people still use iPads more so, I would say, than just your, say, Samsung tablet, because the phones have been upgraded to a point that anything that you could only do on a tablet, you can do it on your phone, and their young eyes can see it on the phone. But if anything in a tablet format, I would say the iPad is the one that's, most.
Yeah, but when you have giveaways, you can't afford to give away.
I mean, but if somebody is given a tablet and they have that hotspot, they can connect to it. It's
They can
all
connect to the hotspot
they're all
with their
compatible. Absolutely.
Okay.
Everything's
Absolutely.
compatible. And I would say that when we gave out the Chromebooks, we did have a small percentage of parents that said we don't need one because we've got an iPad at home or we've got a laptop at home. But we didn't hear a lot of people say they had tablets. It was mostly iPads and laptops.
And trust me, she had a reason for asking the question that she
Okay.
asked. She's in charge of a group who gives out a number of those during the
Great.
Christmas season.
That's
and
great.
I know now she's trying to generate her list of what to purchase.
Yeah, there you
So that's very relevant.
Okay, great question. But they are compatible and they are,
Yeah.
the hotspots
and the
will work.
hotspot and
Yeah.
works and
Yeah.
The only problem you may have, depending on what applications can be used for school purposes, the tablets are almost in line with an iPhone or with a phone, right? So everything is not as accessible as a laptop or a Chromebook. So you just have to be careful because sometimes even viewing things, you only see half of the options sometimes when you use tablets. So when purchasing devices, that's something to keep in mind because I don't know if all of the applications they use in the schools are going to be accessible at full capacity on a tablet.
Perhaps we can connect you with our director of IT so that he can give you some insight on if you're getting some, what would be the best, and what the differences are between the Chromebook and tablets.
But they would still be good as a supplement.
Oh,
though.
absolutely.
Yes.
On the go, sitting in the back seat, riding with
Yes.
mom,
Yes.
logging in for learning purposes. Absolutely.
What other questions? Yes.
Are your teachers in your buildings or are they at home?
Our teachers are in our buildings 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday doing synchronous instruction, and then they're home Thursdays and Fridays for asynchronous. But again, we're going to continue to reevaluate that as this situation evolves with COVID. So that's the plan right now, but again, we're looking at that, I'd say weekly, depending on the numbers.
So what's synchronous and async?
So synchronous means that they are logging in real time. So for example, if you've got geometry first hour on Monday, the teacher is sitting in his or her classroom and she is teaching to an empty classroom, but the kids are all logged in and she's teaching and using her whiteboard and teaching the class in real time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On Thursday and Friday, he or she is teaching the class, but the kids are logging in and getting assignments that have already been preloaded, and then she's working with her team, getting supplemental work and working with kids individually in small groups, that type of stuff.
So is there someone in the classroom assisting on those 3 days, assisting the teacher?
So Wednesday late start.
Pardon me?
Wednesday late start training.
Well, only on those students that need like special education or have Title I services where they have a paraprofessional in the classroom that might work with small groups and pull some of those kids aside, but otherwise the teacher's teaching to just to an empty classroom. And again, if you go on our website, I had the opportunity to walk around several of the buildings and we just videotaped, Ms. Crystal and I did, several of the teachers so you can see what that looks like. And I just walked into 5 or 6 classrooms and you can see them teaching they have all their kids up on a Zoom board. They can see who's up and who's not and teaching to those classrooms. So it's pretty interesting. We do have some students who don't log in regularly. And so one of the things that we've done has been sending out our some of our staff members, and they have gone out to homes, and so we had about 71 kids at the high school level who had not been logging in. So I had all the, good morning, SRO officers and our social work staff, our student resource officers.
Right.
And so they came and got all those students' names, and they went to those students' houses and knocked on the doors and said, "Mom and student, we need you to log in. Where you been?" And so those kids are logging in now. But I think, again, it's about the relationship and kids knowing that someone's checking in on them. That's made a big difference. Yeah. Any other?
I know in some of the other schools that are not part of the Gary School Community District that have teachers somewhere else who are teaching their classes, that they're logged on into a general educational thing or whatever. But ours, the Gary Community School Corporation, is our teachers, not some remote teacher from someplace else.
That's correct. Right. Now we do, if a teacher has been exposed or needs to quarantine, which has happened at our school district, just like all school districts, they teach from home, but they're still teaching live, but they're just teaching from their home. So the kids are still getting that synchronous instruction, but it's not from their classroom. Yeah.
And they have that Zoom board at home?
No, they have their laptops at home, so they can see the teacher in real time. Yeah.
So, but that teacher is at home does not have that.
Well, you don't have a whiteboard at home, but you've got all your materials at home and a laptop.
And they can see all the students?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They've all been set up at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
While working with some districts, I've noticed that seasoned teachers have had a struggle.
Yeah.
To just get up to date with technology. Your seasoned people.
Yeah. So her question was, some of our seasoned teachers have had difficulty, some of them getting up to speed with technology. And so we anticipated that this summer when we knew we were moving towards the virtual platform. And I have to say our teachers have worked diligently to get up to speed with the new educational platform. So we worked all summer on getting teachers professional development on technology. We had teachers every single week signing up for Google platforms, Google Docs, learning how to log in on the right educational platforms, all that type of stuff. And so teachers worked really all summer long. We also started this year called Late Start Wednesday. And so every Wednesday the kids come to school an hour late, and the teachers all work together on that Wednesday morning, and they get professional development on instructional technology, on whatever the new thing is that they need to work on. So for example, all the third grade teachers meet together, all the fourth grade teachers meet together, so they're planning their lessons together. They're talking about, hey, this is happening in my Google Doc, I need some assistance with that. And so they're working together as a team, which has helped a lot.
That's good.
Yeah.
'Cause I have been in some schools that have brought children back.
Right.
And I watched the poor teachers, they're dealing with 7 or 8 on the screen.
Yep.
And they're on the screen, and 7 or 8 in the room.
Right.
And they have their laptops on a kind of a cart that's kind of high up now. And they're on their feet moving.
Yes.
On their feet moving. I'm thinking, I'm glad you're gonna be able to pay them a little more, because it's gonna
Yes.
be some real work going forward.
It really is. It really is. Yes.
What about is there anywhere for the parents that aren't tech savvy to learn? Cause I'm like really struggling. I'm always with the dojo. I
Class
dojo
dojo.
my teacher
Yeah.
all the time. Like, how do I move? And
Yeah.
I'm not tech savvy,
Right.
you know, and I really struggle. And is there like some way for the parents
To get some
help?
help,
Instead of
definitely.
bugging? 'Cause I bug my teachers.
Yeah.
I really do.
So me too. So I've been class dojoing my kids' teachers as well. It's been a learning experience for all of us. And so we've had several educational platforms for parents, and we're going to continue to offer those. So if there's a specific question that you have, we'll build a session around it for you. But certainly we've had, I don't know, 7 or 8 already, and we're holding them at Westside for groups of 10 or less. And we'd be happy to hold some more. But if you have a specific thing you need help with, all you need to do is reach out to our tech team, and they'll do an individual one just with you.
Okay.
We've done dozens and dozens of those because we want to make sure.
I'll give you the
guys are
number
proficient.
after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
This is problem.
yeah.
Thank
And you can go on real time and see if your kids have turned in their assignments for the day. I mean, it'll tell you hour by hour.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, the hour by hour.
Yeah, yeah,
I've only been doing their assignments,
Right.
but I want to see like the hour
Yeah,
by
me
hour.
too. So,
Okay.
so we'll show you how to do that. It's easy once you learn it, but you gotta look into the right system.
Okay.
Yeah, we got you. Our administrators also have learned how to go in on live. So if I'm the teacher and I'm teaching, the administrator can go in and look on the computer screen and see me teaching and watch the kids as well, so that our administrators are also actively involved, going classroom to classroom, remotely watching the teaching and instruction that's going on. So I think because of that, we've made the best of a bad situation, because our administrators can watch all, let's say 40 teachers that she might have in her building and say, oh, it looks like things are going well, but we need a little bit more training on X, or we need to talk a little bit more on how we address parents who might need some help. And so that's been a good thing as well, because it kind of takes away that a teacher goes into his or her classroom, shuts the door, and they're in their own little world by themselves. Now we can just log in virtually and see what's happening in everybody's classroom.
That's great.
Yeah.
Can we, while we're on this subject, let's just do the structure of these classrooms now. Classroom teacher A has the traditional class list that she's responsible for. Would you just go through that so that the public can really understand that even though the children are not there every day, they are assigned to a classroom?
Yeah, so again, if I'm the teacher, Paige McNulty, I would have a classroom of 25 students on my class list. Those kids are expected to be logging in, otherwise they're counted absent for the day. And after so many absences, it's just like if you were in school, then after so many, then we are going to start getting the phone calls, you're going to start getting the visits home, and then you're going to start getting those truancy letters. So it's exactly the same. So you have the exact same class list as if you were in school. Yes, thank you.
Are there other questions?
Any other questions?
I know we have a question here. A comment?
I'm coming in late, so
That's okay.
You're never late. You're
He's
right
a
on
parent.
time.
I think my only question would be, I think you kind of alluded to it, because in this change of format, the glue to hold everything together is the enforcement of the technology department. So what all have you all done as far as hires and things that supports this new way of learning? Because I know that's pretty much, I know with our child care center, our IT guy is he's a go-to for everything.
Yeah.
Because pretty much he's the glue that holds everything together.
Yeah. So our IT department's been working triple time trying to make sure they're meeting the needs of the students, the staff, and the parents. It's been a daunting task, as you can imagine. So we have added some extra, what we call tech desk type people that are working 24 hours a day to answer questions. So you put in a help desk ticket if you're a parent, or if you're a kid, or if you're a staff member, and then we expect that they get those resolved within 24 hours. And if they don't, we need to know about it. But we've charged them with the task of getting back to somebody and getting it resolved within 24 hours. And if we need to add more to those help desk people, then we will. I think we're doing it okay right now. We do have some kids, of course, just like at any other district, that tells their parents, I can't log in, I can't log in, I can't log in. And then we check, and really they just haven't tried to log in for a while. But that's the nature of the game. But that's about us needing to communicate with that parent and letting them know, we checked, and really there's not a problem on the tech side. You just need to work with your student to make sure they're getting logged in, and we need to continue to communicate on that. Yes?
What about substitutes? If the teacher is not available, how do you handle that?
Yes, so we do have some substitutes. We have limited as many substitutes that we had previously for a couple of reasons. One, and I think I've shared this a couple of times before, about a year and 2 months ago, we had 45 full-time substitutes in our classrooms teaching because we didn't have enough teachers, which is not good. We are down to less than 10, which I think is huge. And we were actually down to 3, but because of COVID, we're back up to 10. And so we wanted to be very mindful of not having lots of substitutes. We certainly recognize and know that we're going to need them, just like every district's going to need them from time to time. We work really hard to train those substitutes and pick the subs carefully who need some technology who have technology background or some support so that we can make sure that they are keeping up to speed with what's happening in the classroom.
Dr. McNulty, along that line, I always look at it as an opportunity for you to re-emphasize, because when we're out and you're speaking, people have the concern about teachers being certified. Can you talk about what the district has been doing to assist teachers with certification in our partnership with Indiana University?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, as I just mentioned, we had 45 teaching openings over a year ago, which is not good. As we've mentioned also, we're all, as all districts, we're in competition with each other to get teachers because of the teacher shortage area. And because of our low pay and not having raises for so long, it was really difficult to recruit and then retain them here. So again, passing this referendum is huge, because we're going to be able to give our teachers a raise and going to be able to continue to give them a raise for the next 8 years, which is great. So with that though, we were able to partner with IUN University this school year, and IUN is teaching classes for our staff members who haven't yet finished their certification to become a teacher. They're teaching with us, and then we're paying for their teaching certification out of the title funds. And in 18 months, they'll finish their certification. Then they've signed a 3-year commitment to stay on with us beyond that certification. So we're trying to grow our own and keep them here, which is a very important thing for us for stability. Yes. And we're going to continue that effort. So we have another cohort starting in January. So if you know of anybody who's wanting to become a teacher, please have them call our HR office, because we've got, I think, another 12 people signed up to start in January.
Okay. There's a rumor that those people who were at a particular elementary school who had that opportunity that the district paid for, and they did not keep their commitment, they went to other districts after they got their certification.
No.
Well, it hasn't even finished yet, so that's a false rumor.
Okay,
because
I mean, it's been out there.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. No, that certainly is not the case, because it hasn't finished. They just started their program in August. So it takes 18 months to get through that program. So nobody has left because no one's finished the certification.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
I have one more question. I don't know if it's more of a question or a suggestion.
Sure.
Because I heard the young lady asking about the assistance. And I'm wondering, do we have a YouTube channel as a FAQ?
Mm-hmm.
We do.
So that, like, Google University and YouTube University is really a thing these days. So, whereas if they want to know something, because I have an associate of mine that's what she does. She does how-to videos for a school system.
Right.
And they just go to YouTube and they point the parents to YouTube.
Right.
Go to Gary Community School Corporation YouTube. All how-to videos are there.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gary Community School Corporation YouTube page. Subscribe to us. Our IT director with Crystal recorded all the how-to videos, and if more issues come up, we'll record another one. But for the basics, how do you log on? How do I connect my hotspot? All those types of things are on our YouTube page and our website.
But if you see there's something that we've missed, tell us and we'll make a new one. So we think we've tried to hit all the problem areas that we've been hearing about, but if there's always new things that pop up. So.
I just asked that question.
That's a great one.
Yeah. Yeah. Good
and
question.
then also, there are 2 FAQs. There's a general FAQ on our website. So any questions that are submitted through these type of forms that are emailed to us, all those questions are listed on the website, and then IT has the help desk ticket as well. So if there's specifically questions for IT, when they start seeing those frequently asked questions just from the IT component, then that's when they'll incorporate another video. So we have every angle trying to hit as far as covering all the questions that come up.
Like, we'll take the questions from today and add them to that general FAQ to just ensure that we're capturing what somebody else might have been thinking, and they go to that list and say, oh, here's the answer. We're trying to get better at that.
And so that parent right here should know about that YouTube channel.
Right, I'm going to have a chat with Alana after this. Get her all hooked up.
So we're trying really hard as a district to meet the needs of our parents and of the community. So as we hear things, we then try to respond to it. So another avenue that we're using is we're delivering over 7,000 meals a week, and the number is rising every week because, again, of COVID. So we're still under the, it's called the Summer Feeding Program waiver that the state has extended. So what that means is we don't only feed our students, which is 4,500 students, we feed whomever comes to the bus stops and who is 18 years or younger, and they're eligible to get a meal. And so right now it's gone from 4,500 to 7,000 plus. And they show up and we give them a week's worth of meals, breakfast and lunch. And so when parents show up to those feeding areas, we often hear questions as well. And so my face liaisons are there, they write them down, and they bring them back to us, and then we make sure to try to respond to them. Because if one parent has that question, I'm sure there's 10 others behind that parent who has a similar question. So we've been trying to be very responsive to that.
And I know there was a recent, about a couple of weeks ago, I saw a story or maybe a press release from your office that the school district was keeping more students instead of students leaving.
That's right.
So that means that in a way you're gaining more students.
We are.
So what's the reason? Is it COVID related or what?
No, I would say the Department of Education has said that they have lost 12 to 14,000-ish kids. Sorry.
Oh no, just hold on.
Okay. 12 to 14,000 kids throughout the state because of COVID. Because a lot of parents are keeping their kids home during COVID, especially the little babies, like the kindergarten and first graders. The parents have not enrolled them anywhere. So that's happening statewide. With our district, I feel like our numbers, we have gained kids. Our ADM, which is our average daily enrollment, went up for the first time in over a decade, everybody, which I think is a huge celebration. Huge celebration. Now, it didn't go up a ton, but it went up, and I think that it shows that the parents are starting to have faith in our school district because we are trying to meet their needs. Now, we know we still have a long ways to go. We know that we've still got some hurdles, but we are sincerely trying hard to meet the needs of our parents and of the community. I think the Chromebooks with the hotspots, the meals, the reaching out to our families on a regular basis, the sports programs that we're continuing to run, all those things I think are starting to make a difference, and our families know that we truly care about them and want them to stay with us.
So that in a way, it impresses the public when they see meals delivered. There's a presence of the school district.
Right.
Weekly or maybe daily,
Right.
In
their lives.
Right. You were on the radio, social media.
Right.
So that helps. That keeps you connected.
Right. We're trying really hard. So we're open for suggestions. So yes, Ms. Linda.
I was gonna say, I ate with the student last week, and one of the meals was delicious. Salad, fruit.
Good.
I mean, it was a good little meal.
That's good. Yeah, that's Sodexo. We have a vendor that prepares all of our meals. That's Sodexo. They work tirelessly because you can imagine they don't know exactly how many people are coming every week. So they prepare 7,000 to 8,000 meals depending on the last week's count, and they have to get them all ready into warmers and then coolers. They have to load the buses every week. It's a huge effort, and then drive them around to all the stops. So I commend Sodexo for their continued work and help in also servicing our community. They've been a great partner.
So that means you have to keep it up. That
Yes.
you cannot.
Right.
After
Right.
reading the referendum, you cannot go silent, okay?
No.
And we will
That
not.
was never the point. That was never the plan anyhow. Yeah.
And that's why we're here every second Monday to assist here at Jay's Breakfast Club, so that our manager can speak directly to the community and have these questions answered. That was just a commercial.
Thank you. Love it.
We appreciate it.
My question is that I know they have Chromebooks, but do they also have packages of assignments that they can do as another support even though they are doing Chromebooks on the teacher with the classroom and all of that?
Yeah, great question. So we do have packets that have gone out to many of the students as supplemental or in addition to what they're working on. We have kits that we've also delivered home to a lot of the kids for science type things. Art kits we've sent home so they can do art projects at home as well. And also, just to be very transparent, because I don't know any other way to be, we have some kids who have broken 3 Chromebooks already, and some of it has been purposeful because they don't want to do their Chromebooks, and so they're not getting another Chromebook at this point, so they have packets. So, third time's a charm. So, and then at that point you get packets. Yeah. Yes.
I know I have to deliver packets to the schools for some friends. What about those who don't have transportation? Deliver the packets that have been completed by their kids to the school.
Then we pick those packets up again at the feeding sites, and we have parents deliver them all the time. And so all they need to do is bring them, and we have our FACE liaisons there that log in. Paige McNulty turned in her daughter's packet. They log it in and they bring it back. And we do that every week.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Burton. My husband, this is my daughter. She's a recent graduate of Westside High School. So as parents in the community with children in the present school system, we have 4 children in 3 different schools.
Wow.
4 children in 3 different schools
Yes.
at this point. Can you tell me what will improvements look like as far as facilities, curriculum, access to social services, and even one of the big things that I noticed at Banneker and Marquette is the support for the teachers, because there are students that have issues, disabilities, or whatever. So what is the plan going forward, or is there going to be a plan laid out so we know exactly what we should what our school system will look like?
Yeah. So yes, there's a plan that's already been laid out. It's on our website. It's called the Path Forward. So you can look that up, and it's a pretty global plan, and we'll certainly keep populating it as we go forward. But there's, I think, a pretty detailed plan on our website called the Path Forward. And it talks about things like added social work services for our students who need it, because years ago when the budget was in big trouble, they had to cut a lot of our social workers. So we're going to be adding social workers. We're going to be adding, again, more social supports, partnering up with the community. We already partnered up with Edgewater Regional Mental Health, so they're working with us right now for students who are needing some extra supports. We're also adding curriculum enhancements with the referendum dollars. So we're hoping to have 3 of our schools STEM certified by next school year. We're adding lots of science labs, manipulatives in the classroom, that type of stuff, and lots of professional development for our staff. Lots of professional development.
How much technology or access to technology or improvement in technology is going to be offered for our students? Because between and my husband, he's a techie.
Yeah, I could tell. I was talking with him earlier.
Yeah, we're way behind as far as technology, even countrywide. So how much are we invested in the area of technology for our kids? Access, training, courses, all of those things.
Right. So I think we've already invested a bunch this year. I mean, I feel like we were ahead of the curve in getting the Chromebooks out and the hotspots for our school district. We have purchased and are continuing to purchase the interactive boards for all the classrooms, because not all of them had those, and lots of things that I don't even know the names of that our technology department's working on, but I know they bring me things every week for us to consider. But we're hoping to have a technology. Well, we have already started a technology committee. I think they had their first meeting last week, right? And that's again made up of people within our district and the community. So that's something you should look on our website to join, since that's your background. But we're looking to see what else we can do to bring some enhancements to our students. Yes.
What are you preparing to use volunteers in the school? Because right now you can't go in.
Right.
So what kind, moving forward?
Yeah.
How do you?
So we can't have volunteers in the buildings right now, obviously, but when we're able to open safely, let me back up. One of the things that's happened that I think has been wonderful in the middle of this referendum campaign, if you will, is that everybody has come together saying, how can I help? How can I help? It has unified us. And so there's, again, been an outpouring of people from faith-based to this type of a group to parents to lots of different just community members who say, how can we help? We want the school district to be better. What can we do to partner? And those are good conversations that we're having. So we want volunteers to be able to come in, mentor kids. We know we've got a group of kids at all the schools that need mentoring. And so we'll have those lists of kids, and whether you come in once or twice a week and you sit and have lunch with that kiddo and talk with them so that they have a support system at school. We know we need volunteers in the classroom. We know we need volunteers to go on field trips, all sorts of stuff. So we'll have a whole band of things that people can volunteer and help us with when it's safe. Yeah. Yes.
You opened up a can of worms when you said field trips.
Yeah.
A previous high administrator stated that our kids didn't need to go on field trips if they couldn't pass our step. What is your attitude about field trips?
Oh, I philosophically disagree with that. I think that our kids, I think our kids need to go out and be on field trips. That's part of learning. That's part of your hands-on learning. Our kids need to be afforded the opportunity to go out and see for themselves what is out there. So I absolutely, wholeheartedly believe in field trips. Yes.
Well, these questions have just been awesome, and please don't stop. If there are other concerns, now is the time to ask. Ms. Green, you've been quiet, or is there something you'd like to add?
Well, it's not so much a question as it is maybe a comment. I have the pleasure of being a part of a virtual group with one of the schools in the school corporation. And I just want you to know that it has been very impressive watching teachers help each other to learn about the technology. They feel very free to ask questions when they don't understand something, and everybody is just standing in the gap for each other, helping each other try to figure out how do we move the educational experience forward for our children. So just bravo for what we're doing here in the corporation.
Great, good to hear that.
I have another question.
Sure.
As a community member, one that I've been in Gary all my life, I'm hearing a lot of concerns, of course, with MGT, and somehow restoring local control. But one of the other biggest concerns that I'm hearing from a lot of parents is the fact that this is our third emergency manager. Are there plans in place to give us a permanent superintendent? And what exactly does local control look like when it comes to MGT and the Gary Community School System?
Right. So MGT is just the company that was hired to oversee the school district. And whether it would be MGT or XYZ, you know, I know that they are the outside company. I get that. But I gotta say, MGT has got us to where we are right now. And with this referendum passing, we are within 2 years of local control. We have to have a balanced budget per the guidelines of the DUAB state statute for local control to happen. With the passing of the referendum, that will get us there. And so then plans will be made for the community to hire your own full-time superintendent. That's the plans, as it should be. All right.
Other questions? Comments?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a question about the P-EBT program.
Yes. The PEBT program is the program that's not offered through us. It's offered through the state. And that was a program that was given or asked of us to provide with them names and addresses, phone numbers, for them to be able to afford people dollars that were eligible for that. We applied for that, or we didn't apply for that. We provided that information the first go around, and then the second go around, they sent it to us on a Friday at about 3:45. And again, I'm just being very honest, and said it was due at 4 o'clock. And they didn't send it to the central office, they sent it to the buildings at 3:45. And there was no way for us to get it turned in by 4 o'clock. So we did ask for another reapplication of that, and we're waiting to hear back from them.
What are those acronyms? What are those acronyms?
Food stamp card.
It's the food stamp program for families who would get extra money on their food stamp program.
The pandemic.
Through the pandemic, yeah, but it's not anything through the school corp. We were just kind of a pass-through to give them the information.
You know, we are so accustomed now of using acronyms, and some people are not just,
True.
don't automatically know, and when I ask for clarification, it's just a,
Yeah.
like I said, information is power.
Right, I appreciate that. Yes.
Ms. Harris, did you have a question?
Oh, no.
This is on behalf of my friend here.
I hate to keep on.
This is on behalf of my friend here. She was asking how, or if there any impact with the referendum on charter schools. What is the balance? Does that impact charter schools? Does any of that money go toward them?
Yeah,
Or
great
does
question.
it totally benefit Gary School?
Yeah, we are not sharing any of the money with the charter schools. Yeah, it's only for the Gary County schools. Good question. Yes, hi.
Good morning. As far as dealing with the Korea Center, how much are our students able to pick up the training that the Korea Center offers?
Can you repeat that question?
How much of our students currently using the Career Center?
Yeah.
So the Career Center is the only building that is still open to students right now, as it is with all the rest of the districts, because the Career Center, the students have to have the hands-on training for them to get their certification and the funding. If we don't have hands-on training, the school districts, none of them, not just us, any of them, we don't get your funding and kids don't get their certification. So we have the students coming in 4 days a week on a hybrid schedule so that they can continue on with their, whatever it is, culinary, graphics arts, whatever. We got lots of different strands happening, but it's still going.
So can you talk about some of the programs at the Career Center that's available now?
We've got about 19 of them. I'll try to rattle off the ones off the top of my head, but I know we've got culinary, we've got cosmetology, we've got graphic arts, we've got aviation program, which is the first one for this whole area that we're partnering with the Gary Airport. Let's see, auto mechanics. We've got a bunch. There's 19 of them. So
what about the fire?
Yeah, CNA.
CNA. Yep. So the EMT, we have partnered with the fire department here in town, and so they're going to be teaching that class with us starting in January.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what about adult ed? Any adult programs at?
We have adult programs that are at the Career Center, and we've also partnered with Workforce Development with Denise Dillard, and so we have programs that, again, have started and are building out for second semester.
Oh, okay. So that's where folks can go to the website and see what will be available.
Yes.
Come next year?
January.
Specifically the Career Center page. So you go to our website, but then you click on Career Center for the information there.
You know, this has been one fantastic morning here at Breakfast Club. And I would just like to say, if you heard noise in the background, that's a good thing, because we are in the restaurant and we want to hear that noise.
That's right.
Doc, there's a follow-up question.
Sure.
With the charter schools. Why were they not included in the referendum?
Okay. So the language says that we may choose to share the monies with the charter schools, and we chose not to because the money we felt was needed for our school district. If they choose to run a referendum, they can do that on their own, but we had a very active campaign. We probably had 35, 40 people on our PAC committee working on behalf of public schools, and so that's what we chose to do. Yeah.
Okay, hold on one second. If I can follow up to that, I sit on the City of Gary Bond Bank.
Yes.
And to speak to the charter school, Thea Bowman actually did initiate a request for funds through quote unquote the City Bond Bank. So there are bonds being issued for Thea Bowman. So to balance the question or feel like something is being done unfairly, there is a level playing field, and how you get to the end result, as long as you get to the end result, I think is the most important thing.
That's right.
I thought charter schools couldn't initiate a referendum because they are not a...
I think they have to go through it in a different avenue, but our language said we may choose to share it with them, but then it means they would have to have been part of this active campaigning.
Right. But they could not, since they are not a taxing district.
That's correct. You're right, you're correct.
They cannot initiate
You're
a
correct.
referendum.
We got a
They
question.
did initiate getting a bond,
That's
Oh, yeah,
correct, of
that,
the bond,
yeah.
right.
and it was a $19 million bond, so I'd say that was pretty sufficient.
They good.
Okay, I see another hand here.
Okay, just one question that just came up as you guys were speaking of the referendum. With the funds for the referendum, those are all dedicated to the school system, right? So
Correct.
like MGT will continue to be paid from
The state.
the state.
Right.
Okay.
All referendum dollars go directly to the schools, to the kids, to the teachers only. MGT doesn't get a penny of it. I don't get a penny of it. It only goes to the school district.
And that was an excellent question, because like Sandra continued to say, we're in the community and we hear those questions and we hear those concerns. And that's why we have to address them.
Right.
Okay,
Because there are others in the community that put out different,
exactly.
inaccurate
And that's why we saw
information.
Rena.
So, Miss Rosie, if you can come over and do our wrap up from over here, that would be great.
Okay. Before we do that, we do have an announcement
Yes.
that one of our participants has asked to make.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. We're in the 6th district here. We have our council meeting coming up on November the 12th at 6 o'clock. This is the 6th district. And our speakers will be, of course, the city, the deputy chief, Sunita Starks, General Services, Regina Morgan Caesar, Board Up and Demolition Coordinator, Cedric Kirkendall, and Code Enforcers, Robert Brinston and Brandon Hicks. It is a Zoom meeting, and the coding is here. I've got a few flyers here if you'd like a copy of it. Also, I'd like to also add that the Gary Historical and Cultural Society, which I represent, they also have their fundraiser going on, and hopefully, as you see coming through individuals and organizations, you will be very supportive of the Gary Historical and Cultural Society. After all, we are trying to get our museum in Gary, Indiana open, which is the Gary Land Company building, the oldest building in Gary, Indiana, 1906 when it came about, and it's sitting there on 4th and Broadway. So the fundraiser is not only for the building itself, but the fundraising is just to make the general public aware of Gary's history. We're all sitting in Gary, yet you're totally very low. If you don't connect with a Garyite, you don't know Gary's history. That's how come I'm totally supporting Roosevelt High School. Gary has a very rich, wonderful, demanding history that our youth, that's why we're there. We're trying to open their eyes. You don't have to beg for anything when you find out who you are as people of color, as people of leaders. And I don't say this lightly when I say kings and queens. It's already been designated, not by us, but by the Lord. That was his choosing, and we thank God for it.
And we thank you for continuing coming to us with community announcements, because many of us would not know if we're not technologically in tune and on Facebook and those kinds of things. So we do appreciate you coming to us. Now, Silver Monday will continue next week. And our traditional speaker, our traditional presenter, Dr. Janet Seabrook will be here.
Yeah.
And Chelsea, I want you to tell our audience who she's bringing with her, because it's just so fantastic, and I can hardly wait.
She is bringing some millennials to talk to us, and they are both business owners and organization owners. And so it will be Aaliyah Stewart of I Am Them, the organization, where she created it as a result of the murder of her two brothers. She is starting a youth center in Gary, and she's going to talk more about that with us. And also a young lady by the tender age of 26, Jonisha Davis, who has started the organization We Are the Village, which helps children with developmental disabilities, for she is a parent of a child with autism, and she often totes the support she received at Bethune. And she has now reached out and created her own organization, reached out to other community partners. So she's going to talk about the resources that her organization provides and the partnerships that she has forged. But we'll still have the opportunity to talk with Dr. Seabrook about our health concerns.
And we do thank you for that. And it is just so important that we embrace our young people.
Amen.
You know, I'm not going there. But we need to embrace our young people who have made a decision to stay in the city of Gary. That calls for an applause, as the pastor would say. Listen to say amen. Because we have plenty of our young people, including those that you're seeing here today, who are trying hard to establish businesses. Our popcorn people over there.
It's their 1 year anniversary today.
You don't have to go all the way to Chicago to get on the line to get the popcorn. You can just stay here in Gary. Do a commercial right quick. Are we allowed to do that?
Totally. They're Gary. She's a Gary grad.
Come on, do a commercial. Yeah. Put your hat back on and do the commercial.
Okay, we're Popcorn World. We're the world's largest popcorn store. We make over 250 flavors of gourmet corn. We make two different types of corn. We have our savories, our regulars, and then we have our gourmets. Difference between the two, our gourmets are all hand-coated with fine chocolates and then other premium ingredients. Our Oreo is coated with Oreo. Candy bars are coated in the actual candy bars that they state. We have cheese, what we call a Lazy Man Chicago mix, where we coat caramel and cheese. Okay, so you have your cheese and caramel mix, but then we have caramel coated in cheese. All right, and we're right on 25th and Grant, right at the County Market Plaza.
And we're celebrating 1 year in Gary.
Today.
And I will add that out of the 20 locations that we've opened and closed and everything, Gary has been the most successful location.
So there are good things coming out of Gary, Indiana. Sandra, one other question here.
One more. As many of you know, Ray Phillips, outstanding band teacher in the city of Gary for over 40 years. The young people, when you spoke of young people, are getting together this Friday at 3:30 outside of the old Pulaski to celebrate his life. Now,
What time is that?
From 3:30 to 6:30, I think. I don't know what they have planned, but it's on Ray Phillips' Facebook page. So they're going to honor. In fact, he is being buried today in Mississippi.
Another of our outstanding, phenomenal educators here in the city of Gary, and a very accomplished musician. With that, thank you. Oh, I have to say this. This is the elementary teacher or the grandma, I don't know what, but I try to have little treat bags. I am so happy to say I ran out today. That's a good problem. That's a good problem.
Yeah.
That's a good problem. So thank you, and please come back next week.
All right.
Thank you.
You can come to Jay's every
This
day.
is called Silver Monday at Jay's Breakfast Club, and it was designed to address the concerns of our 60-plus community. However, you can be 39 and a half, because you may want to come and share something with your parents or your grandparents. And what I always say, whoever we bring them in to provide information. We don't endorse anybody, but we want the community to know what's available right here in the city of Gary. Thank you.